Hi guys, happy Sunday. It's Clarice. How's it going? Let me just quickly close my door. How is everyone doing today? I can see there's one person here. I'm going to give this a couple of more seconds, minutes to see who else rolls in before we begin our Sunday live. This is going to be the last Sunday before Christmas, really. And then we'll have one more before the new year, I'm pretty sure. And then I will see you guys next year. Hi, Patty. Good morning. Hi, Claudia. Hi, Kathy. Good morning. Okay. All right. So lots of people are here. So much to talk about. My gosh, how's everyone doing with the holiday season going on and parties and probably a ton of baking and whatnot? But while you guys are typing in the comments, I'm going to quickly walk through what's happening. So this was last Sunday's, not last Sunday, but the Sunday before last live that we did on here. So I hope you guys caught that and enjoyed it. We're going to do something a tad different today. And for those who've been watching my YouTube videos, you guys probably know that this week we did Holly, and then the patrons and Creative Fabrica fans got a little live demo on the Facebook group on how to do these intricate little details over here. So the Holly video was literally just to inspire you guys how to create it, add some gold or metallic to kind of make it visually interesting, and then do your own pattern and just have fun with it. And then based off that, I did a live on Instagram, and we painted these beveled baubles, which I love, and I hope you guys love too. We used a combination of the Mei Liang watercolors and then KMS metallics, and I used space blue, which is like a grayish metallic. That's right here. And then again, after the live, I kind of went ahead and created these little intricate designs for this. So I hope you guys are inspired and are able to sort of do your own thing. That's really the goal over there. And so today we are going to be doing a poinsettia bauble. So I hope you guys are excited. Patty says the Holly was way too much fun. I'll be adding scrolls later today. Yes, please do, Patty. But yes, today, so you'll be doing a lot of baubles, I guess. Wait, no, you're just adding scrolls. You've already done the baubles, but today we'll be painting this. So while I'm chit-chatting, find yourselves something circular so you can just draw a circle on your sheet, because that's what we're going to start off first. And I'm going to finish giving you my spiel before we move on. I'm probably going to use this thing here. I think this is a good enough size to do my my circle. But yeah, let's see. Okay, so for those who are following YouTube, know that coming up this week is this little guy, and I hope you're excited. It's going to be the last video before Christmas, I believe. I can't quite remember when Christmas falls, but yeah, the last one, and I'm super excited for this. I hope you guys love it just as much as I do. And then for those who are looking for something more intricate, there is still the opportunity to go ahead and do the watercolor postcard special, where you get all 5 of these videos plus drawings, base drawings for them, and have a ton of fun. So check it out. All right, let's talk about what supplies I'm using today. So I have my water ready. I don't have paper towel. I should have paper towel, but I don't. I am using my Zen Art Supplies 8x8 watercolor paper block, which I really like. And then I am using my new set of Mei Liang, I think that's how you pronounce it, Mei Liang watercolors by Rubens. And it comes with a whole lineup of metallics as well. You can never have enough metallics, in my opinion. It's like saying I have too much nail polish. You can never have enough nail polish either. I know my nail polish game has been off these past few months, but as soon as this live is done, I will be painting nails for sure. Okay, so putting this aside, enough chit chat about nails and whatnot. Let me just make sure my camera is straight. And got a little bit of a new setup here, which I'm excited about. I think it's a lot brighter and nicer on screen. Yes, brushes. Let me tell you brushes, and then we are sort of ready to begin. So brushes, obviously I'm using my Velvetouch, just trying to find them on here. I'm going to use the Around number 4 Princeton. And I'll keep the 8 handy as well. I don't think we'll be using too much of the 8 just because if our circle is like this big, unless I find a tad, something a little bit bigger to sort of draw my circle. You know what? Yes. I'm going to use pardon me as I get my stuff together here. I'm going to use this guy, this mug, to create my circle. So let me just create my circle, and I know some of you are making some comments, so I will quickly have a look just as soon as I have my circle ready. Now, all the supplies I'm using are listed in the description of this video below, so please feel free to check that out. These are also part of the supplies from the watercolor 2022 watercolor guide that I sent out via email. I posted it online. It's a blog post on my website, so check it out if you guys are stumped for materials and looking to do stuff. Okay, let me look at the comments real quick. Claudia is saying some stuff, and unfortunately I do not speak Spanish, so sorry, Claudia. Those are beautiful. Can't wait to be able to try and paint them. Thanks, Kathy. Hi, Ali and Bella. Okay, awesome. Ali from UK. Nice. I know you guys are 5 hours ahead. I've been seeing a lot of Christmas UK decorations in my feed, and needless to say, you guys have really good decor sense, I have to say. So thrilling. Which also reminds me, I gotta get ready to watch my my regular Christmas movies, which are going to be The Holiday, Love Actually, very, very UK British, yes. But those are the staples, right? And then obviously While You Were Sleeping with Sandra Bullock, and Elf, because of the kids and also the big kid in me. Okay, let's begin. So I got my circle. What we're going to do is, like I mentioned, we're painting this. So we're going to start off with doing the poinsettia. So I'm going to walk you through how to do the poinsettia, and then doing the rest of it is fairly easy. What you will notice is once I've done one of the leaves, it will be pretty much repeating the whole thing all around. And then we're doing the background ones, the background leaves with a darker color, and then finally we finish off with the center. Okay, so I'll be letting you know which colors I'm using from my Mei Liang set, and we will go ahead. I've got this palette here handy in case I need to do some mixing. We're good to go. So for the first color, I'm going to use the, let's see, I'm going to use deep magenta and then madder red for the outer bits. So deep magenta is for the inside. Okay, so it's the third last palette there, and then I'm just gonna mix it on here. I know there's some previous red on there, but I'm not fussy as long as it's in the red range. So that's good enough for me. Okay, so I'm using my number 4, and we're gonna start off by doing the leaves, okay? Think about placement. I know over here I've placed it down below. I think over here I'll place it. You can go smack dab in the middle if you want to. If you like things more symmetrical, leave that up to you guys. All right, here we go. So I'll do it sort of more towards the edge, maybe right here. So I'm starting off that first leaf. And I'm using the tip of my brush to get that nice pointed tip, and then I'm pulling all the color downward. Okay, so then we move on to the next one. I'm going to do the same thing here. This time I'll probably make this a tad smaller-ish. But notice how I'm kind of waving my brush as I bring it downward. And that's mainly because sometimes the leaves they've got those nice little folds and waves. It's very organic in shape. It's not really a perfect almond shape. And I like that represented in our loose style of painting, even though this isn't as loose as our regular painting sessions. Let's do another one over here. I might have to stand up just to sort of make sure I get proper, like a proper view of my sheet here, but we'll see. So again, pulling all the color down. What you can do at this point, if you want to get a little bit of that darker red, the matter red, and just sort of add some, before this dries off, just adding it to the center of your petals that you've just created. What will happen is it'll dry off with like 2 different tones of red, which is really pretty. So I'm just getting a little bit of that and adding it within, just mainly in the center, adding a couple of strokes. Give us some nice depth happening. Moving on, washing off most of the color, getting some of the color that we have here. I'm going to do the next one. So this is where you guys understand, or probably have realized, it's a lot of repetition. And just sort of going along. Let me just finish this one round. I know some of you are writing, and then I will respond to your messages, because you know the thing is, when you're painting with watercolor, it's all about timing. It's all about making sure you're getting things done before they completely dry off, especially if you're trying to get some nice bleeds and blending happening. Again, pushing all the color downward. Here's my 6th one. And then again, getting that darker hue and adding it to the center, using the tip of my brush and just sort of pulling it downward. So I'm only doing these darker tones in the center, but feel free to add a little bit at the tips if you want, just to sort of, you know, show a little bit of shadow. I don't know. Experiment and try and see what works for you. Okay, so we've got our first base. Now we're going to do the background. This turned out, well, it's not fully dried yet, but it's definitely a tad darker than what I have here. So we're definitely going to be doing the background petals for this a lot darker, just so it stands out more. Oh, Ali just said something. Yes, 5'10" here in UK, and thank you for saying hi to Bella. She's my Chihuahua dog. She's on my lap and looked at the screen when you said her name. That's so cute. Well, I guess she really just answers to whoever says her name then. That's really nice. Not just when you're calling her, I bet. Well, thanks for joining in, Ali and Bella. Okay, so I'm getting some of the Madder Lake red now, and at this point, I want it to be a little bit darker. So what I'm going to do is get some, just like a swipe of Van Dyke's brown and just mix it in with this. So my Van Dyke's brown is the third one. And I'm just going to mix that in. Get some more of the Madder Lake red, get nice and deep. All right, so now this is the part where we're being more intentional with our strokes and less loose, because we're going in between these guys, and just make sure that these petals are dried up, and we are creating our background petals. So same sort of technique, but we're just being very mindful about how we sort of paint the rest of it in. So there's one. We'll do another one over here. So pretty much alternating in between. And then try and do, like, don't be super symmetrical with your pointed tips for the leaves. Just try and get some to be a little bit off to the side or a little bit of a wave, kind of like what I showed you when we did our first layer. And I'm being very careful as I paint these in between. Again, push all the color down to the center. This way we get that nice shadow effect, adding a little bit of depth to our petals. You can already see that happening. All right, this one I'm going to do a tad smaller, thinner maybe. Because they're not exactly smack dab in between the leaves either. Some of them are a little bit behind, you know, just one slightly off. So if you're looking for a more natural look, then feel free to explore that. Here's another one. Okay, now we've got a couple more, two more. Again, just keep in mind as you're painting them in, The last thing you need to do is just make sure that you push all the color down to the center, giving it a little more depth. Whoops, I lost my little pointed tip here. And I messed it up. That's okay. I'll just add the tip here, and then it's got a little bit of a natural edge. So I'm just dabbing extra color in between these two. Again, trying to give it shadow. Give it a nice darker bottom. And let me see if I can just zoom in a bit so you can view this better. There we go. Let me know if there's any like blurriness happening as well. So painting our last petal in, and then I'm pushing all the color down to the center, or where the leaf starts. Okay, perfect. So we're done our poinsettia for this bit. Now, you can use the same color that you have, and just using the tip of the brush, we're just gonna lightly go in and paint the veins. Okay, for our top layer. We're just gonna allow the bottom layer to dry a bit. So using the tip, I'm lightly grazing, just like light grazing, and then adding the veins in. You can go from the stem, from the main stem out, from the main center out, or from out in. Really, it's a preference. Everyone's got their way of doing things. Do what comes easiest to you or what you favor. And in terms of spacing, feel free to space it out however much you want to. More here. Again, very, very light grazing on our petals. And then 2 more left. Almost running out of color a little bit here, so I've got to get some more. Okay, we are done. Okay, so we're going to allow this to dry. Let me just check the comments real quick. Hi from Northern Ontario, Canada. First time catching you live. Like your videos and painting style. Hi, Maureen. Welcome. Thank you so much for your kind words. That's super sweet. And I hope you're painting with us. Hi, Andy. Hi, Clarice and everyone. Happy Christmas to all. Happy Christmas to you as well, my friend. Okay, so let's move on to doing the let's do some greens happening, because let's do the big leaves, and then we will finish off with, sorry, leaves first, pine needles next, and then the glittery little berries. Okay, so for the leaves, I really like the olive green. So something a little fresher and not as dark. So I'll use a little bit of the olive green. So let me just make sure I got the right green. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to water this down like a 30-70% watered down version. I could actually even use my number 8 to do these leaves, just to get them nice and tad bit thicker. You know what? I will use my number 8. Hi Christine, welcome. Glad you're here. Snowy, oh, it's a snowy day in Vancouver, is it? We don't have any snow today, but we did have some about 2 days ago, 3 days ago. Yeah, everything shut down because it was our first for the season. We were expecting 15 centimeters and we got not even half of that. So there we go. Okay, so first set of leaves. Now I really like using our leaves to sort of create the edge. So I'm going to start with some coming from here, and then definitely some from the actual flower itself. So let's start with doing some from here, or just make sure you don't have any extra color dripping from the tip of your brush. I'm actually going to zoom out just a little bit. There we go. Okay, and then, so here we go. Just gonna start off with that big leaf there. Get some color. And then I'm just sort of shaping that circle. The edge of the circle, that is. And then pushing all the color downward, because again, serves as a great, like when it dries off, it's going to dry off with the top lighter and then the bottom darker, which gives it that nice sort of curved look, because it is like a spear. For the second one, I'm going to mix a little bit of deep hooker's green with this, just to get like a slightly different leaf happening to the side of it and for visual interest. And I'm allowing these two to touch. Again, I can't stress how amazing these Velvetouch brushes are, because that fine pointed tip really is a game changer when you're doing things like this. And it is super economical as well. Okay, so we've got two different greens happening. Let's see, where else can we add some? I'm gonna put some happening. We did say some by the actual plant or flower, leaves, leaf flower, whatever you want to call it, because these are leaves. I'll do one here. Let's do one on a smaller scale. And I'm being very deliberate and intentional with my lines here before I go in and paint and fill it up with color. Okay, so there's one. In fact, if you want to like make it seem extra, just widening it just a tad. And I like the idea of just doing another one just at the side of it with more of the olive. So at this point, feel free to, you can either copy what I'm doing, like in terms of placement, but feel free, because I always encourage you guys in terms of placement, in terms of composition, like try stuff out that you think would work. You don't have to do exactly what I am doing. This is how you learn, this is how you grow, and this is how you sort of work towards your goal of just sitting down and then painting without really thinking, or yeah. Let's see, let's do one more on this side. Pushing all the color downward again so that when it dries off, you're getting a nice light to dark sort of effect. And if you feel like it's spreading, just take your brush and take off some color, like I am doing right here. So what I'm doing is just swiping the color off and just dabbing it on my little paper towel, which is off screen. Okay, so that is that. I do feel like this is a little bit... Okay. All right, I will do another one. I've got to do a couple more. Speed this up a bit. Now the thing with using this brush is when you use this brush, the results that you get are going to be a lot more pointed edge. But if you use like the Neptune 6 or the 8 where the tip is not super, I guess, sharp, you're getting looser, thicker looking leaves. And if you like that, then use brushes like that. Before I move on, I'm just going to take my number 4 and I'm going to get a little bit of the burnt sienna. And that is, burnt sienna is right here. And I just want to add it. Oh, no, that's not it. Just want to add it to some of the green. And just add it on these leaves right here. Before they dry off. And if yours have dried off, just add them anyways. And then what you can do is dampen it first, then add it on. There we go. Okay, moving on to the next couple of leaves, and then we can, so this leaf over here, I'm going to have it be sort of more full in view. Actually see it. Pushing it off there. Let's get some of that darker. Oh, the darker green is right here actually. I've got some of the emeraldish green, which I do not want for this. Just going to add a couple of dabs within this that I have done, and then we'll do another leaf. And this one, I'll just have it, again, curving or hugging the curve of our bauble. adding more shape to our circle here, so then we don't have to have too many. So we've got 2 there, blah, blah, blah. Let's do some. Okay, I don't need the large one anymore. I need to be a little more precise so I don't soil our poinsettia there. I'm going to add a little bit of green here. Oops, it's touching the poinsettia just a little tad. I'm going to add one, like a leaf coming out from the back here. So I just want to get as much of the green done before we move on to the other fun elements involved. And then always pushing the color down to hug the curve. Okay. Okay, so we've got some of that. Perfect. And I will throw in, I'm going to throw in a leaf over here. And again, pushing all the color towards the flower. Okay, now my battery is gonna die, and I'm gonna have to set this up real quick. So just as soon as it dies off, just give me a moment and I will reset it up. So in the meantime, let us go ahead and get some pine needles. So for the pine needles, I'm going to use a combination of tree green, deep hooker's green for the actual little green part of it. And then for the actual center, we'll do some sienna. Okay, so sienna is right next to my yellow sienna. And what I will do is paint these in first so I know exactly where I'm placing things, and then we'll do the green bits. So let's have some, I'm gonna have one coming here. Oops, need it to be a tad thicker. Oh, there we go. All right, give me a second to get the battery in. Oh no, it came back on for some reason. I wish the cameras didn't do this. I wish we could actually just get, yeah, just give me a second. Just get a charger and like a phone charger, but That doesn't seem to be the case for my camera. Maybe it is time for a new battery because these batteries seem to be dying a lot quicker than when they were first new, which was earlier on in the year. Okay, almost done. There we go. Okay, we're back. So I'm going to get the burnt sienna like I mentioned. And actually, oh, there we go. Take that out of the way. The strap is hanging. Okay, so I've got one protruding from here. I'm going to do another one happening this way. So it's coming out from the flower outward. And then let's do one more happening here. And possibly one more protruding this way. Okay. One more between these leaves. Because why not have them be bunched up together a little bit? Okay, now going in with our green, let's go get some tree green. Oh, wait, is that tree green? That's yellow green. I do not want yellow green. I want tree green. So I'm going to get some tree green and let's add, using just the tip, I'm just lightly grazing and adding thin lines to my burnt sienna stem. Now, as we get to the edge, just make sure you're not painting out of the edge because then you're going to lose your shape. And now at this point, just so that I can get some blending happening, I'm going to get some of the, let's get some of the Hooker's green. And the tip is nice and pointed, so I'm able to get similar sort of thin strokes. Perfect. Move on, do more. Oh, Ali says my old paints are still okay. Guitar tube paint, some were a little dried out, bookwork. Yeah, I find you can just activate the colors for watercolor anyways. I've yet to hear about old watercolors not working. Oh, and this is the first time you're painting in 35 years? Wow, that's amazing. I'm glad I was able to inspire you to pick the brush up. You must tag me on social media. I absolutely have to see what you did. Ali. I'm gonna do more here. So we're repeating the same thing for all the areas that we've chosen to do our stuff in, okay? So just go for it while I am going for it myself. And I'm swapping between the two brushes. Let's do these ones here. Get the darker green going. And then our last and final one over here. And then we move on to the metallics. So we got some metallic lovers on here. Some sparkle and shine. Might even add a little bit of that brown to the green just to get a little bit of a darker green happening. Just in some areas. Okay, so that's great. Let's do some metallics. Actually, before the metallics, really quickly, let's finish the flower. Now, the beauty about this flower is when you take it to the next level and add a little bit of shadow in between over there, like for the main darker bits. So again, my technique is to use a little bit of burnt sienna. Let me see, where's my burnt sienna? My burnt sienna is right there. And mixing it with the red, I'm going to get like a darker, deeper red. And I want like an 80%, no, maybe like a 70%, 30% blend. And then I'm just going in and adding like almost like a little bit of an outline. I'm not even blending it in. And if you want it to blend in, I would suggest dampening that area first and then going in and adding these. But I don't want to get too nitty gritty for that. So I'll leave that up to you. I mentioned what you can do if you must have it blend in. last final one here. And then we are doing the centers. So for the centers, I'm going to add tiny little circles, but I'm not really painting them in. I'm going to use a combination of yellow sienna, let me just make sure I have the right color. Yeah, yellow sienna is good. So using the number 4, I'm just going to go ahead and paint little circles, trying to leave as much white space as I can. And leaving the circles kind of open-ended, very loose, very kind of rough. And then what I want to do is take a darker brown or a darker version of this yellow sienna. So whatever's darker on your palette, feel free to pick something close. So for me, it would be burnt sienna. And burnt sienna is 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth one over. So I'm just getting some directly from my color cake, and I'm going to add a little bit just below. So just adding a curve below random circles, just to sort of show the shadow. That's it. Not adding anything else to that. Okay, so then we move on to doing our metallics. So for our metallics here, I really love the bronze that comes with the Mei Liang set. So I'm just going to use that bronze, and we're going to create our little holder at the top as well. And so for that, again, feel free to get really intricate and fancy with them. I'm just going to do a very basic one here. I'm doing a slanted lines, more of a rectangle. And then little lines in there. I need to stand up a little bit for this because I think I'm slightly off center. Now that's better. I'm just going to add more lines to the right of it. Close up more of that white space. Allow it to be a little more darker looking. And then we do our little hook. Sitting at the top. Perfect. And then once this is fairly dried up, I'll go ahead and create the extension, holding it up. But that's great so far. Oh yes, the berries. So using some more of this, we're going to go ahead and do some berries. So what you could do is draw your stem in or paint your stem in, do the extensions that come out from there. I'm making them I'm making them a lot larger than what I had in my initial painting, which is right here, for those who are looking for a reference. Just put it right there. And then I'm just adding some between the leaves here as well. If you actually want to paint this on like over the leaf, That might actually look really nice because it's a nice dark green, and then just having a bronze or a gold over it just is a nice effect. And then varying sizes of these berries as well. It doesn't have to be the same size throughout. That is also helpful. So what I'm going to do is just add a couple of tiny ones. Okay, and then you can add more. Let's do one here. Smaller, not as large scale. So really, you're kind of figuring out where you would like to place these and going with it. So this one I placed right above the leaf. And let's do one here. Overlapping over the flower just a tad, because why not? Okay, so we've got it in 3 places. I don't know if you want to add it in any more, but I think I'll just do one more happening. Oh, I'm trying to think, should it be in or out here? Just adding, just really adding just a tad bit of that color to kind of have things pick up. Pick up on the tones, that's what I mean by pick up. Okay, so that's good. Let's see, do we need anything else? Okay, one more thing that I have done is you could actually add random little just gold dots if you want to, but what I will do instead is add another area, a couple of areas of the red, just so it doesn't look like this is the only red there is. So actually, yeah, could add the red dots. So I'm going to take the darker red and I'm going to add little red berries, you could say, I guess. So we've got gold berries and now we've got red berries. And then for those who've watched my video on the holly from this week, you guys know how to get joining berries of a lighter color to give us that nice little loosey feel. Oh, I love it. So pretty. Not to toot my own horn and all, but you know. Okay, do a couple more here at the edge, because let's live on the edge a little bit. Yeah, I throw in corny lines every now and then. Laugh. Adding some more little white, water circles to kind of really give us that nice loose berry feel. And I'm just adding some dots as well, kind of space it out. Okay, so we've got there. Let's do here. So I'm just placing berries just based on the technique that I've shown you with the first one. So I hope you guys are kind of using your own judgment and figuring out where you want to place yours. So one in there. And that dark red sure is nice. Almost done. All right, and okay, actually, hold on. Before we say that's it, and then just darkening this one at the top. So it sort of dried up a lot lighter. Okay, yeah, and this is it. I feel like there's a little bit too much space over there, so what I'm going to do is just take some rough color and I'm just going to add like really loose little strokes to kind of indicate leaves. It's nice to have looser looking leaves here and there. Just it makes the more detailed elements pop out that much more. And if you want to add it to some of the edges too, that works. Giving it a little bit more definition. Just add one here. And one more. Or a couple more. Ooh. Oh, this one turned out to be massively huge and big. I didn't mean for it to be that way, but sometimes that happens. Okay. That's it. No more. We just have to do the line, but I'm going to allow you guys to do that on your own. And this is it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me read the comments real quick. Oh, there's a lot of talk about Amazon. Okay. Yes. So I typically really like using my metallics, which is handmade by KMS from the States, but I have a lot of her colors, and these guys, well, Mei Liang also has a whole slew of them here. So it's fun. So whatever floats your boat and whatever works for you, like, go with that. Okay, there's lots of talk about... Thank you, Andy. Thanks, Rachel. Glad you like to hear the thought process. I feel like that's important when you see something, just so you can understand. You're welcome, Kathy. I guess Kathy had to take off. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Merry Christmas. I will see you guys after Christmas. We'll have another live. But please tag me if you have painted this. I would love to see what you've done. My handles are listed below. And again, if you like any of the products and you're looking for them, I've got US and Canada links, which are Amazon affiliate links, listed below. And if you're looking to get more items like paper and whatever, I did put out a link on what I use the most, generally speaking, over classes and over my tutorials as well. So check that out. And that's it, guys. Thanks so much. If you like this video, please hit that like button. And yeah, that's it. Have a lovely, lovely Sunday. Bye, guys.